The Black Dahlia murder, Hollywood's darkest secret. In the glittering shadows of 1940s Hollywood, where dreams were manufactured and stars were born, something unspeakable surfaced from the dark. A young woman's body, severed in two, drained of blood, her face carved into a twisted smile. This wasn't fiction. This wasn't a movie plot. This was real. And nearly 80 years later, nobody knows who did it. Welcome to Dark Tales AI, where true crime meets nightmare. Before we begin, hit subscribe, because the deeper we go into this case, the darker it gets. And trust me, it gets very dark. Elizabeth Short, the girl behind the myth. Before the headlines, before the nickname, there was Elizabeth Short. She was 22 years old, born in Massachusetts, a dreamer obsessed with Hollywood glamour and silver screen fame. Her childhood wasn't easy. Her father abandoned the family during the Great Depression, leaving emotional scars that followed her into adulthood. She struggled with stability, moving frequently, working odd jobs, relying on friends, acquaintances, sometimes strangers for places to stay. She loved dressing elegantly. She told stories about future success. She wanted to be seen. But LA didn't offer her stardom. It offered uncertainty. And then, in early January 1947, something happened. Witnesses saw her at the Biltmore Hotel. She made phone calls. She met unknown individuals. Then she walked out of the lobby and vanished. No struggle, no witnesses, no clues. For 6 days, she simply ceased to exist. And what happened next would shock the nation. The discovery: America freezes. January 15th, 1947. A mother walking through Leimert Park noticed something in the grass. Still, pale, artificial. She thought it was a mannequin discarded on the roadside, until she got closer, much closer. Elizabeth's body had been surgically cut in half at the waist, precision that stunned investigators. There was no blood at the scene, meaning she was murdered elsewhere. Her body had been drained, washed, carefully posed, and then there was her face, slashed ear to ear, frozen in a permanent, horrific grin. This wasn't just murder. This felt theatrical, intentional, designed to be discovered. And that's when the media stepped in. They gave her a name that would eclipse her identity forever: the Black Dahlia. But the nightmare was only beginning. The autopsy, a pattern of brutality. As investigators dug deeper, the case became even more disturbing. Elizabeth showed signs of prolonged torture. Ligature marks indicated restraint. There were burns, blunt force trauma, fractures. Medical examiners noted the precision of the dissection, suggesting anatomical knowledge, possibly medical training, possibly surgical experience. Suddenly, this wasn't just a crime. It was a puzzle, and the suspect list widened dramatically. Hollywood whispered theories: a doctor hiding in plain sight, a mob message killing, a stalker obsessed with her. But just as momentum built, the trail went cold. Or did it? Because one suspect would change everything. George Hodel, the chilling suspect. Enter Dr. George Hodel, charismatic, wealthy, brilliant, a surgeon with influence and connections. His home sat near the body dump site. His behavior drew attention. His past raised eyebrows. Then investigators bugged his home. What they recorded still chills listeners today. Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia, they'd never pin it on me. Not proof, not confession, but enough to haunt the case forever. Soon after, Hodel left the country. Years later, his own son, a former LAPD detective, publicly argued that his father was responsible, compiling evidence and analysis attempting to connect him directly. But official charges never filed. And just like that, the strongest lead faded, leaving behind even more questions. Chaos, false leads, and obsessions. As media frenzy exploded, the case spiraled. Over 60 people confessed. Almost all were fabrications. Police received letters mailed by someone claiming responsibility, including personal belongings belonging to Elizabeth.
Bring him in.
Gangsters were investigated, nightclub figures scrutinized, other serial killers compared. Every lead created hope. Every lead collapsed. And the longer the case remained unsolved, the more disturbing theories surfaced, including one that still divides true crime historians today: the cover-up theory. Some believe the truth wasn't missed. They believe it was buried. Rumors circulated that powerful individuals may have been shielded from scrutiny, evidence overlooked, investigations redirected. Decades later, excavation work at a former suspect property uncovered suspicious materials linked to the timeline of the crime. But nothing conclusive. No charges, no closure. Officially, the case remains open. Unofficially, it remains one of America's most haunting unsolved mysteries. Legacy, horror that never ends. Elizabeth Short became a myth. Books, films, documentaries, endless speculation. But beneath the legend is a stark reality. A young woman lost her life in unimaginable circumstances, and justice never arrived. Somewhere in history, the truth exists, perhaps forgotten, perhaps hidden, or perhaps known by someone who never spoke. So here's the question. Who do you believe was responsible? Tell me below. I read every comment. If this case disturbed you, wait until you hear the next one. Make sure you like the video. It helps Dark Tales AI reach more viewers, and subscribe for weekly dives into true crime's darkest corners. Because sometimes the scariest stories aren't fiction. They're real, and they're still unsolved.